Hello everyone, and welcome to this tapping video, this presence tapping video that I've subtitled Tapping as Conditioning of the Energy. While I'm talking, I want you to just start tapping. In presence tapping, there's no emphasis or need to actually say anything. Just the act of doing this, 5, 10, 15 minutes, without any intention whatsoever other than to just tap, has a profound effect on the nervous system. So just take a couple of breaths as you're tapping. And another one. Just like I would lead someone if we were just going into a meditation. And in fact, presence tapping is kind of meditation with tapping. Now I say energy conditioning. There's many physical exercises you can do which are regarded as conditioning exercises. Moderate aerobics or walking, those kinds of things tend to be general conditioning. When you walk, it's not like weight training when you're trying to get to a point where you can lift a lot of weight or develop and grow the muscles. It's just a general improvement of health. Well, tapping is a body-centered therapeutic. It can also be a body-centered transformation. It can be a way of conditioning the nervous system, just like walking or moderate aerobic exercise conditions the cardiovascular system. Now, how does that work? Well, what we're doing right now when we're tapping, there's a lot of physiological things that are happening. It's affecting the amygdala, which is the center of the flight mechanism. It's releasing the antidote to the stress hormones. It's having a lot of physiological effects, which have all now been measured and proven. So there is this neurology and this physiology going on. But in my experience, what I've found in working with many, many, many people now, both individually and in groups, is that it has a very tender, a very gentle message that's being delivered. All of the EFT points are spots on the body that we normally touch quite unconsciously when we're surprised or stressed or worried or deep in thought. The body naturally touches these spots. We're simply consciously touching the comfort spots to bring comfort. Now, what this does is it communicates to the body, through the body, a message of, you can calm down now, you're safe. Now, this is a big deal for many people who have had severe and complex traumatic experiences in their life, maybe a very traumatic childhood. The underlying or baseline sense of safety is missing. There is no general sense of safety. Now, when that happens, people tend to reach for circumstances and conditions outside of themselves to try to create an environment that seems safe. Well, I don't know if you've tried it, I'm sure you have, but you probably have found that it's impossible to control everything in your life so much that you can guarantee safety. And even if you did, you find I still don't feel safe. Because something very fundamental has gotten disturbed by the traumatic experience. What we're doing right now as we're tapping, just as I'm talking, we're not doing formal EFT or any kind of therapeutic process. But the tapping itself, bypassing the mind, is saying, I am safe. Now, what would happen if you did this 5, 10, 15 minutes a day? You do it as a formal practice. You could do it as a informal practice, just whenever you think of it, without any words, without any need for words, just the physical act of tapping all by itself. What would happen if your nervous system started regularly, consistently getting the very message it did not get early on, which is what created the traumatic experience? Namely, I'm safe. Now, you don't have to figure this out, do you? You don't have to get conditions to be just right. You don't have to figure out the words to say. This simple act is doing it all. It's kind of like a massage, right? When you get a massage from a massage therapist, the massage therapist does all the work. You just lay there. This is doing all the work. You're just allowing it to do it. And little by little, just like starting a regular program of moderate aerobics or walking or something, will, over time, recondition the whole nervous system and bring it from a state of the assumption I'm not safe to the assumption that I am. So stop now for a second, just take a breath. Close your eyes. And just put your attention on the body. Notice how it feels. Notice the energy flowing. Now, while you were tapping, you may have yawned, you may have laughed, you could have gotten shudders in your body. Some things may have come up. But in presence tapping, we're not here so much to process things. Don't worry about that. There's plenty of time for that. If it just comes up, just say thank you and then let it go. And then breathe. Just start tapping again. Maintain that just quiet sense of just breathing. It's like you're meditating. There's no focus of attention. And there's no intention to do anything. No agenda. Nothing to fix. Nothing to learn. No problem to solve. Just taking some time for ourselves. Some quality me time, you might say. To give my body permission to acclimate to a new environment. An environment in which the message of safety is being more and more and more communicated and more and more and more adapted to. So I'm going to stop for now and end the video so I don't just sit here tapping and not saying anything. But I'm gonna recommend, if you can, to just, as the video runs out, to just keep going. Just tap. And maybe even make this kind of part of a tapping practice. Maybe, especially for those of you who have a hard time meditating, just 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, in between this or that, with no intention whatsoever other than just being present. Thank you all for listening. Namaste.